guys, Carolyn here. Today I'm going to be doing my review of episode 3 of Produce X101, and I'm so excited because this week I feel like it's finally getting good, because you know what, we're actually getting into the real competition now. We're over this whole pick me thing halfway through this episode, so Mnet is still being Mnet and we have things to discuss. So I watched this episode last night. I watched it on K-Show123. I'm going to say that every single time I film one of these videos because I still get questions about it. There are spoilers in this episode. So this is the first episode. I feel like there's major spoilers. So yes, if you have not seen the episode yet and you are interested in watching it for yourself, then probably you shouldn't watch this video. So I've done the past 2 episodes. If you want to see either of those videos, I'll go ahead and link the playlist up above right now, and you can go watch those videos before you watch this one if you want to get all caught up on all of my thoughts. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. We started off with the reevaluations because episode 2 ended like right before the reevals started. So at the very beginning of the episode, they explained that there are A, B, C, D, F, and X rankings that they can be re-evaluated as. So there was a rumor that F was going to be involved, and F did end up being involved, which I think is kind of silly, and we'll get into that. Basically, the X's don't get to be on stage, but the F's will be where F's normally are during the performance, like on the ground, not really like on stage. So they started with the X videos because we kind of ended with like Hyungjun, who is one of the Starship trainees, the guy who was trying to train everyone at X and then got yelled at, and then he did come back and teach them, and they all like learned the dance. Somebody was upset I didn't mention that last time. He did do that, and I did like that part of the episode. Started with his like evaluation video, and he was doing really good at first, and then he started making a lot of mistakes, and it was very sad. He did end up moving up to a D ranking, which he was pretty happy about, but I think that if he hadn't made as many mistakes, he probably could have been a C or a B. Honestly, I could have seen him moving up that far because he is a really good dancer. If he had kept singing and all of that, he probably would have done a lot better. But you know, a D is still good. He was happy about it. He got to stand on stage. Mingyu came up. Kim Mingyu from Jellyfish Entertainment came up. Got a lot of comments about his face from the trainers, and I was like, okay, but like, can we watch his performance? Because so we got a lot of positive comments about his face. He moved from an X to a D. Again, he was pretty excited because he got to stand on stage. I still think that he is super lacking. I still think that he has a long way to go. I like his enthusiasm. I like the way he wants to improve himself, but I still think he has a long way to go. They showed Johan, who was an A and ended up dropping to a C because he forgot some of the lyrics, and I think he made a dance mistake, and that was really sad that they moved him down to a C, but a lot of the A's dropped, spoiler alert. Tony, they showed him too, and I'm not talking about every single like person they showed. These are just like the people I'm really following and people I thought were like significant. He forgot the lyrics. Tony forgot the lyrics, so he said "죄송합니다," so I'm sorry, and that was so sad because then it felt like he was like crying, and oh, it was so sad. He got moved down to an F. So when they announced the grades, everybody had a blank like paper, and they went up and got stamped, and I feel like before they have handed the grades to the trainees, and this time they stamped them, and I feel like that was like way more dramatic and honestly kind of interesting. Yesung from Woollim went from a B to a D, a reevaluation video, and he showed up in D class. He got moved down before the D trainees like moved up or moved down or whatever, so the other 2 boys from Woollim, Changwook and Dongyun, were there, and he like saw them and he was like, oh, I can't look them in the face because I got moved from B to a D, and I feel really like bad about it. It was really sad because I've really grown to like Yesung a lot. So Dongpyo from DSP, he got moved from a B to an A. He really wanted to look cool during his performance, and this isn't really a spoiler, everybody knows this. He ends up becoming the center guy for the Pick Me stage, and there's this thing that if you become the center, you end up in the final group. It's happened 3 seasons in a row, so he probably is going to be in this final boy group, and I like him. I don't dislike him. I feel like I'm like that with quite a few like of the Pick Me centers. He did look really cool during his reevaluation video. I was pretty impressed with him. Oshyun of Brand New Music, who was the guy in the blue sweater, who was my favorite Brand New Music trainee I said I liked, he moved from a B to an A. That was super exciting. Both the top media boys, Wei and Wushin, I never want to call them their real name, Wooseok and Jinhyuk? Is that Wei's real name? I don't know. I'm just keep calling them Wei and Wushin. But they moved from B to an A, which was super exciting. I knew that was going to happen. But still, when they walked into the A classroom, I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, yes. The Plan A boys got to stay in A, which was super exciting. Eun-sang, who is one of the Brand New boys, the one that everyone's like obsessed with, he moved from A to a C. Starship's Wonjin, who has become one of my favorite people, Ham Wonjin, he moved up from a D to an A. They spent a lot of time on that. And then they had Yuvin and Johan. Yuvin looks like somebody. Figure out who he looks like. So let me know who you think he looks like. I'll post his picture. Let me know who you think he looks like in the comment section down below because it's driving me crazy. I can't figure out who he looks like. Part of me wants to say like 17's Mingyu. I feel like that's not really who I'm thinking of, but let me know. And then they did this thing with like Yuvin versus Johan. They were like the last two, not the last two trainees in A, but the last two to get their grades in A. And everybody else who was moving up to A showed up before the A trainees got their letter grades. So they knew one more person had to leave. And Johan moved down to a C, which from his performance video was not unexpected. The two other boys lone boys that were in D, Changwook and Dongyun, moved from a D to a B, and Mnet spent no time on it. The only reason I know that is because afterwards they posted the rankings of everybody and like where they moved to, and I saw that and I was like, because they're trainees I'm keeping an eye on. And Cha Junho stayed in a C. He was a C and he's still a C. But yeah, Mnet spent like no time on that, and I was like, excuse me. And Minso moved from an X to an F. Almost everybody moved from an X to an F except for this one guy. Was listening to this on my AirPods and got up while that part was happening, so I don't really know like if there was any story behind that. I didn't feel like going back to check, but yeah, there was one guy in X, which I feel like having F there was really stupid, and still having X, having both was really stupid because yeah, I felt like there wasn't a need for both classes. I feel like they should have just had one or the other. Actually, there were two boys that stayed in X, but we don't talk about the JYP boy anymore. So even though I did hear that all of that is like false and his friend made it up or whatever, so he ended up being an X. The only reason I know that is because Mnet, there was one like clip which I did post on Twitter that Mnet could not edit him out of completely, and he was there in his X outfit, so that's how I know he was an X reeval. So then they had all of the 101 trainees vote on who they wanted from the A class to be the center position. So the top three were Wooseok, Shihun, and Dongpyo, and obviously Dongpyo won. And yeah, that I said this last week. I was like, it's gonna be so silly. I don't know, like having that information because we already know, like we've been new since March who was gonna be the center for Pick Me. But he made a lot of mistakes during like when they were practicing all however many there are, all 99 boys together were all practicing, and he kept making mistakes, and that was like, yeah. But he did okay, and then I skipped through the Pick Me performance because I've already seen it before, so I skipped that part of the video. I was like, alright, let's move on. I have said this before that I really dislike this part of Produce because I will tell you why. Because the next scene, them saying, okay, so your letter grades no longer matter. Everything now is your number ranking. We spent 6 hours of Mnet's editing watching them do these letter grades. 6 hours of my life that I will never get back, and now they no longer matter. So I hate this part of Produce because it happens every season. I know it's going to happen, that the letter grades really are not that important, minus like the first part. The only position that really matters afterwards is whoever got center. That's like Dongpyo's letter is the only one who matters at this point. So then they started the group battles. Group battles are like my favorite part. The like original songs are my favorite two like challenges from Produce. I don't really care about the like position one. I don't know. Yeah. But I really like the group battle, and I really like the original songs stages. Those are my favorite two challenges. So we have group battle. The groups that were revealed were NCT U, BTS, EXO, Monsta X, New East W, 101, 17, and GOT7. They just had the like group there, so nobody knew what song it was. So they had Dongpyo come out first, choose his 13 other boys. And then just like every season, he picks the next person to pick their team and so on. A lot of my favorite trainees, he was trying to make the Avengers group like every center does every single time. But we will see if that group actually ends up being like an Avengers kind of group, because it didn't seem like it, what the trainers were saying at the end of the episode. But there were 12 boys left who did not get picked. Minso from Willem was one of them. The rest of the boys I really didn't know. Every season Mnet does the same like sad story of the 12 boys, or however many there are boys who did not get picked, to form a team, and it's the same story every single episode. So after everybody was picked and all the groups were together, they revealed that they were going to have to split into 2 teams. So they revealed 2 songs, which was basically the debut song of the group and the like most popular or like most recent song, depending on, you know, what group it was. And a lot of the trainees wanted one certain song. So whoever like was in charge of choosing the original boys got to choose what song they wanted, and then they got to choose what boys from their group they wanted in whatever song they chose. And the other 6 or 7 boys got the other song by default. That again was like, people were like stressed by that. I thought that was pretty cool though, because honestly the only thing I've never really liked about the group eval is that you have to watch the same stage so many times in a row. You watch like the same 2 boys perform, or the same 2 group of boys perform the same song. So this way we get a bunch of different performances and a bunch of different songs, so I'm pretty excited about that. Really, they've only done like EXO so far, like complete stage, but I again really liked this way more than what they've done in the past. So there was this like issue this time where so many of these trainees did not know the songs they were performing. It was like the weirdest thing. Like the No More Dream, so BTS had No More Dream and Blood, Sweat and Tears were their 2 songs, and none of the boys on the No More Dream team knew the song except for one guy. And I was like, how do you not know that song? And then everybody in the Clap team, nobody was familiar with Clap, and nobody had ever heard Trespass from Monsta X before. And I was just sitting here like, if you're watching this video right now, if you've never heard any of those 3 songs, excuse me, you need to go like watch those, listen to those songs, and like how, like who are these people who don't know these songs? Like everybody was so like excited, like, oh my gosh, we have to get BTS, oh my gosh, we have to get Monsta X, like I'm so excited about these groups. And then the songs are revealed and they're like, I've never heard that song before. And I'm like, excuse me, like, do you not listen to K-pop? Like, I understand a lot of these boys are like under the age of 18, but still, like, Monsta X is only a 4-year-old group. You haven't heard their debut song? That was really weird. So for the Clap team, nobody knew the song. 101 was Energetic and Light, and Energetic, Wonhyuk knew the choreo, so everybody was learning the choreo super quick. Light, the only F guy, his name was Heejun, became the center, which I don't know why, because he had like this really weird expression during his like you know how they go around the circle and everybody does like a facial expression or like, you know, shows off for the song. I thought that his was like really bad. Personally, I would not have voted for him for center position, but he became the center. Was not as great of a vocalist as Wonhyuk, so he was kind of like upset, and he was like, oh my god, I'm the only F in this group and I'm like a slacker and yada yada yada. Monsta X, nobody knew Trespass, nobody knew how to teach choreography, and nobody wanted to be the leader. So Yujin, who is that ex-Starship trainee guy, the guy that knew Soyu, I believe, he ended up becoming the leader because what's his face, the other guy who's like from that drama, was like, hey, you have been a trainee for a long time, you should be the center, or you should be the leader. And he was like, okay, sure, I guess. The Dramarama team did much better because there was the ultimate Monsta X fanboy there his name was Kwonu, and I was like, yes, okay, you were great, I love you. He became the center. He's like, I've been dancing to Monsta X for 4 years, I know all of their songs. Like, he should have been in the Trespass team, honestly, but like Dramarama is his favorite song, which like can't relate, but whoever ended up being the leader, because this guy became the center because he knew the choreography and he looks like he should be in Monsta X, honestly. Like, I feel like he would fit in Monsta X really well. So the 2 of them, the leader guy and him, were like fighting over how to do the choreography, and it was very stressful. So that probably will create chaos next episode. Looking forward to that. There was the Mama team and the Love Shot team, which I'm so excited that Usuk became the Love Shot center. Wushin became the Love Shot center because that stage was honestly, like, that song is so perfect for him. When Top Media Boys did Teen Top's No More Perfume on You, their song for their like original letter grade, his voice does not fit that song. He fits Love Shot so well. Like, so well. So that was really exciting. They're like doing great, whatever. Bae called them like the real Avengers team when they were like practicing in front of her, which I absolutely adore that trainer, because she like does not want to deal with any of Mnet's crap. She says like whatever she wants, and she's like, no, you suck. I don't care if everybody in Korea thinks you have a nice face. You suck. Mama team spent forever distributing the parts. Nobody wanted to be in Mama. Everyone wanted to be in Love Shot. Yesung from Woollim saved the day because he was like, okay, like we need to move this along. Like, come on, guys. And like everybody in Love Shot already kind of knew the choreography, so went and learned the choreography. And when they were performing, he was like kind of in the back, performing in front of the trainer. He was kind of in the back. And then she was like, okay, like you guys are awful, so I need someone who like actually thinks they know this choreography to come up here and stand in the center and teach be the front guy, like who thinks they're, you know, confident and in this choreography. So Yusung went up there, he danced, and she was like, you were pretty good. So that was like a fantastic character development, because he was the one who got yelled at for not being confident during the pick me thing. So that was really exciting that like Woollim trainees are starting to get like a better light on this show, because oh my gosh, it's been a mess. NCTU teams, they had the 7th Sense and Boss, and everyone wanted Boss because, understandably, because the 7th Sense is a hard song. A really hard song to sing. So the 7th Sense team was the like group of people who didn't get into the Boss team, and they were all really sad about it. Miram became the leader and also the center. He was just everything. Boss team is like the team I'm most excited for. It has all of my favorite people in it. We have Wei Johan, we have Chajuno Dongwoo from Plan A is there. Dongpyo is in that group, but you know, I'm like neither here nor there about him. I don't remember, but I'm so excited for that performance because Wei is the only rapper in that group. He was the only rapper, so they were trying to figure out, oh, is it Shuhun? Is Shuhun also in that group? I'm super excited about this. Wei is the only rapper in that group, so they needed 2 rappers because somebody has to do Taeyong's part and somebody has to do Mark's part. I don't think they're doing Lucas's part in the song because he like pretended to rap. He like did it, whatever, and they were like, oh, that's actually pretty good. And Wei was like, I'm gonna make you a rapper. And Johan was like, no, you don't have to make me a rapper. It's okay. And Wei's like, I'm gonna make you a rapper. So for that, because when Wei rapped, did he do Mark's part? He did Mark's part. It was really good, and I was very impressed with it. So Wei is a good rapper, but he never gets spotlight in attention songs, and I feel like he's going to be one of those people who throughout this show is going to get kind of attention, and then he's like not going to make the final group, like, at all. Anyways, I'm enjoying his presence for now. But anyway, Wei became the center and also the rapper, and Johan's the other rapper, and I'm super excited because Boss is my favorite NCTU song. I absolutely adore that song, so I'm so excited for that performance. So the performances started after that. The winning team gets 3,000 points added to, or 3,000 votes added to whatever. The top person in the winning group gets 10 times their votes, which is like a huge deal, actually. And I don't know if they mentioned anything about like afterwards if whoever gets like the most votes overall is gonna get an extra thing, but I would assume so because I feel like that's usually how that happens. The only performances we really saw were the EXO performances. The Mama team got scolded a lot. Like I said, Bae Yoonjung complimented him. They showed like all that behind the scenes at this point of the show. The Love Shot team was the Avengers team as chosen by Bae Yoonjung. And there was one guy, Sejin, who was like not doing great, but then he did fine in the actual performance. Wooseok did amazing as center, and afterwards they showed this shot of Wei, which I screenshotted, so I'll post it right now. He looked so freaking proud of Wooshin, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love these boys so much. Love Shot won, of course. I had a feeling they would. The Mama team did really good though, and Yoon Sung got the most votes for the Love Shot, or for the Mama team, which is super exciting. Then they showed the first half of the BTS battle. No More Dream was the only performance we saw. We didn't see the other performance. The only like behind the scenes stuff we saw for that group was that the center was like too extra, and the leader was like, you gotta calm down a little bit, and that was their only like drama. And they had an okay performance. I didn't think it was spectacular. I'm pretty sure the Blood, Sweat, and Tears team is gonna win. But yeah, that is it for this week. That is everything that happened that I want to talk about. Pretty exciting week. Like I said, I absolutely adore this part of produce when we actually start doing things. Like the first 2 times I filmed these videos, I was like, okay, we just got to get through this pick-me stuff and then we'll get into the good stuff. So this is when all the real drama starts and everything. I do want to say though, which I thought I was going to forget, but I didn't forget. After they said your letter grades no longer really matter, they started showing everybody's ranking, and a lot of the people who were like struggling or like not doing great were ranked so high, and a lot of the people that people were like, oh my gosh, you're so good, are ranked so low right now. And it's so like frustrating to see that, because like is Korea even watching the actual show? Like I don't even know. It's so frustrating because I literally can't do anything. But there's a couple people who are in the top who I agree with right now, the top 11, and there's a lot of people who are in the top 11 who I don't agree with. So I like all the same people, but I really started liking Yunsung a lot more this time. Willem's Yunsung, and Chanwook, who I said like in a previous one of these videos that I had no idea anything about him, but I really like him a lot. So I'm super excited for next week. I am going out of town next week. My birthday is this week on Thursday, and then this weekend I'm going out of town for my birthday. I'm going on a trip. So I'm going to try to film this video before I leave and get it up for you guys, but if not, I will be back on Monday. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.